Hi viewers, in this class we are going to discuss the Kelottis heart structure and the function. Apart from that, let us see the basics of the circulatory system of the Kelottis. The circulatory system of Kelottis is made up of two primary systems. They are blood vascular system and the lymphatic system. Apart from the blood vascular system, it is a closed type of blood vascular system composed of heart, arterial system, venous system, and the blood. Let us see the important topic apart from all these structure of heart and the functioning of the heart. Let us see the location and shape of the heart. The heart lies in the mid-ventral position of the anterior part of the thoracic cavity. It is conical and muscular. The heart is covered by a thin and transparent pericardial membrane. The space in between the heart and as well as the pericardium is known as the pericardial space. It is filled up with the pericardial fluid. This pericardial fluid protects the heart from the mechanical shocks, physical and mechanical shocks. The posterior end of the heart is connected to the pericardium by a small stalk-like structure which is known as the gubernaculum cordis. Very important bit. Gubernaculum cordis, which connects the heart to the pericardium and which helps in the keeping the heart in its original position. The heart of Kelottis consists sinus venosus, auricles, two auricles, one ventricle, and three aortic arches. Let us see one by one. Sinus venosus. On the dorsal side of the heart, a thin-walled chamber is present. It is called as the sinus venosus. It is formed from the union of two precaval veins and one postcaval vein. They form the sinus venosus. These two are the precaval veins and this is the postcaval vein. All of them fuse together and form the sinus venosus. Externally, the sinus venosus is divided into two parts by a deep groove present on its dorsal side. The largest right part and the smaller left part. The sinus venosus opens into the right auricle. It opens into the right auricle. Near the region of the constriction by a semicircular and sinoauricular aperture. The aperture is provided with sinoauricular valves. The valves prevent the backward flow of the blood. Sinus venosus collects deoxygenated blood from all the body parts. So let us assume it will be here. It is like this. These are the two precaval veins and one postcaval vein. So precaval veins always collect the deoxygenated blood, impure blood from all the anterior body parts of the Kelottis, and whereas the postcaval vein that collects the impure blood from the posterior body parts of the Kelottis, and all of them they fuse together and form a sac-like, bag-like structure which is the sinus venosus. It is opened into the right auricle where actually the impure blood get collected into. And then coming to the auricles, the anterior half of the heart shows two auricles, right auricle and the left auricle. They are thin-walled and internally the left and right auricles are separated by a thin muscular interauricular septum that divides the left auricle and right auricle from each other. The right auricle is larger than the left auricle and appears darker than the left auricle. The wall of the right auricle is thick and its inner lining is thrown into a number of musculi pectinate which are projected within the lumen. Sinus venosus opens into right auricle through sinoauricular opening. This opening is guarded by two sinoauricular valves, keeps it closed and open when the blood is to be forced through the aperture into the right auricle. The common pulmonary vein opens into the left auricle. The aperture is not provided with the valves. Left auricle receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs through common pulmonary vein. The right and left auricle open into the ventricles by separate auriculoventricular aperture. Here there is a left auriculoventricular aperture and there is a right auriculoventricular aperture. And coming to the ventricles, the posterior half of the heart is occupied by the ventricle. The two auricles separated from the ventricle by an auriculoventricular septum, and ventricle is single, muscular and triangular. The thick-walled ventricle is provided internally with an interventricular septum which divides it incompletely into left and right halves. In the middle of the ventricle and close to the line of the demarcation between the auricles and the ventricle, there are three apertures from which the aortic arches arise. Here, if you observe the internal structure of the heart, here you will see. So the walls of the ventricle are very thick. The inner wall of the ventricle is provided with thick interlocking muscles called as the columnae carneae. So these all are the columnae carneae, the thick muscles. There are bunches of thread-like non-elastic fibers made up of collagen fibers called the chorda tendineae, by which the valves are attached to columnae carneae. For example, these are the valves and these are get connected to the valves and the columnae carneae. Columnae carneae and valves of the auriculoventricular apertures, they are get attached by the small fibers which are called as the chorda tendineae. Then the right and left auriculoventricular apertures are guarded by a single semilunar flap called the auriculoventricular valves. Here, these apertures are guarded by the auriculoventricular valves. It prevents the backward flow of the blood from ventricle to auricles. As is that of the case of fishes, the truncus arteriosus is absent. Here there is no truncus arteriosus. The two systemic arches and single pulmonary arch arise directly from the ventricle. The systemic arches arise independently from the cavum dorsale of the ventricle. So here this is the dorsal side, cavum dorsale, and the pulmonary arch arises ventrally from the cavum pulmonale of the ventricle. So cavum pulmonale, which supplies impure blood from the right side of the ventricle into the lungs, whereas the cavum dorsale, it supplies the pure blood to all the body parts. Let us see the working of the heart. In Celotes, the circulatory circuit is double circulation. There are pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. Pulmonary circulation is conducted by the pulmonary arteries which carry deoxygenated blood to the lungs. In the lungs, the blood becomes oxygenated and returns to the left auricle by the pulmonary vein. From the entire body, deoxygenated blood is collected by two precaval and one postcaval veins. They drain this blood into the sinus venosus, Sinus venosus contracts and pushes the blood into the right auricle. The left auricle pours its content into the ventricle through the auriculoventricular aperture. The sinus venosus opens into the right auricle. The right auricle empties its contents into the ventricle. The ventricle contracts and sends blood for circulation into the different parts of the body through systemic and pulmonary arches. Here there are two systemic arches, left systemic arch and right systemic arch, and one pulmonary arch that supplies the impure blood to the lung. It sends deoxygenated blood to lungs through pulmonary arch. The right systemic arch sends oxygenated blood to the head region. The two systemic arches unite and supply mixed blood to all the body parts, because here there is no clear cut distinction within the ventricle. So it is impartially divided into two. As the ventricle is incompletely divided, a mixture of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood occurs in calotis. Thus, through the ventricle is morphologically incompletely divided, there is a tendency for the physiological separation of the two types of blood, at least in two auricles completely and in the ventricle partially. From this point, the heart of calotis is biologically more advanced than that of the frog from the amphibia. So this is all about the heart structure and the function of calotis. Thank you one and all.